What up, guys? It's Salvajee from Salvajee Cartel, and of course we're back with another Overwatch video. So in this video I'm going to be telling you guys why I think Orisa is way better than Reinhardt, and also why she's just the anchor tank that we don't deserve. I just called her an anchor tank. You know, I'll get to that later, of course. Anyways, let me just say a couple of things. Now, maybe I'm the exception. You know, maybe I'm that one player that can get a bad hero and play very, very well. Like, for example, when Sombra first came out, this guy Kori Nikui, or I hope I said that correctly, but anyways, that guy, he was really, really good with Sombra, even though Sombra wasn't really the best hero. Maybe I'm just one of those guys. You know, I'm really good with Orisa, even though people think she's garbage. Okay, another thing that I want to say is, I'm not really trying to convince anyone with this video. Honestly, I really, really do hope that I don't convince anyone with this video, and I hope all of you guys disagree with me throughout the entire video, because I still want people to think Orisa is just terrible, like that she gets even better. If she gets a buff, she's going to be even better than what she already is right now. Okay, but anyways, just keep in mind also, you know, this video is just opinion based. You know, you don't have to agree with everything that I say. Anyways, let's get started. Alright, why is Orisa the anchor tank we don't deserve? First of all, let's talk about her weapon damage. It's extremely, extremely good. You can kill squishies so fucking quick with her weapon, man. It's disgusting how fast you can kill people with this thing. But the problem is, no one can land the shots with Orisa's weapon, and that's why a lot of people just give up on her. You know, it requires a lot of skill, but I'm telling you guys, once you start leading your shots, alright, you can pretty much just destroy people with Orisa's weapon, or make them very, very weak for your other teammates to finish them off. Let me give you guys a mini tip. I'm going to be giving a lot of mini tips throughout this video, by the way, with, you know, Orisa as well. But anyways, here's a mini tip. You guys want to, this is amazing for taking out squishies. Like, you can take out squishies very, very quickly with Orisa, but people just don't know it yet. What you want to do is you want to start shooting at them. Obviously, lead your shots if you have to. And then if the squishy is sort of jumping around or moving away from you, okay, you want to use halt to bring them into the line of fire. Okay, and after you do that, that's it. They're fucking dead. So yeah, use halt, bring them into your line of fire, and they're most likely going to be dead. Specifically if you're always aiming for the head. Alright, the next thing that's really, really good about Orisa, why she's just the anchor tank that we don't deserve. Her survivability is actually pretty good if you know how to play her. I know, like, some people are like, what the fuck, did you just say her survivability is good? She dies to everything. Like, she gets countered by every fucking hero. Yeah, I know that, man, alright, I know that. But if you're able to stay around your teammates, alright, if you're able to stay within the middle line, okay, around your healers and around sometimes, you know, your soldiers and all that stuff, you should be able to do pretty well, and your survivability rate is going to go up. You have Fortify, you have the projected barrier, okay, and you also have another teammate right next to you to assist you with other heroes, which is why I think that this is why Orisa is the truest anchor tank in the game, or why I believe she is the truest anchor tank that we've ever gotten so far. You see, Orisa, she knows exactly where the entire enemy team is. And if you're a Reinhardt main, alright, just like I was in Season 3, keep in mind, guys, I played 300 games. No, not 300. I played 900 games during Season 3, okay? And I have about, you know, 30 plus hours of Reinhardt. If you play Reinhardt, you know that frustrating feeling, man. You're in the front lines, you have your shield up, and your teammates are like, you know, fucking drinking coffee and fucking masturbating. What the fuck? Alright, that's such frustrating feeling with Reinhardt. Now, this rarely happens with Orisa, alright, because you always know where your teammates are, because obviously you have to be around them, because if you're not around them, you're just gonna get destroyed. Okay? So, that's why I think she's the truest form of an anchor tank. Alright, I think she's the truest form of an anchor tank, because you always know where your teammates are, and if you know where your teammates are, you can control the flow of the team fight and sort of move with your team, just like you do with Reinhardt. But of course, Reinhardt does it from the front line, Orisa does it from the middle line. Anyways, with that said, that leads me to another point. Since Orisa is in the middle line, and of course you're looking at the front line, you're able to put better barriers in the front line. Sometimes, you know, you're playing Reinhardt in the front line, and, you know, your teammates just are to your right or to your left. You know, they're not always like behind the barrier. Well, with Orisa's barrier, you can pretty much guarantee that if you place down the barrier, right, your teammates will get behind it. And if your teammates get in front of your barrier, or your barrier starts getting destroyed, you can throw yet another barrier, and bam, have a 900 health barrier just ready to be in front of them to protect them. One of the main reasons why I think Orisa's barrier is way better than Reinhardt's barrier, it's just for the simple fact, man, that my average damage blocked with Orisa, okay, it's 22,000 damage to 30,000 damage. If I play King of the Hill with Orisa, Okay, I'm usually going to get 28,000 to 30,000 damage if we go 5 rounds. Okay, but for the most part, I easily get 25,000 damage blocked in a game, 22,000 damage blocked in a game. It's really disgusting how much damage I fucking block. Always remember, guys, the more damage you block, the less damage your teammates get, the less likely your teammates are going to die. In other words, this stat pretty much shows that you're able to just cover more damage with Orisa's projected barrier rather than Reinhardt's barrier. Your projected barrier has more mobility than Reinhardt's barrier, and you sort of have more control over it. Reinhardt's barrier don't. Reinhardt's barrier revolves around everyone being around Reinhardt, but what if you want to protect the flanking soldier? You see the flanking soldier, you throw a projected barrier into, you know, his area, and now he has a freaking barrier he can shoot from while he's using tactical visor, and while you can of course shoot yourself, you know, in the middle line, or what is at the time the front lines. That's just one thing that, you know, it's just my opinion. Alright, you guys can agree or disagree. Again, I want you guys to disagree because, you know, I want people to underestimate Orisa. I just want her to get buffed again. I just want her to get buffed. Anyways, another reason why I think Orisa's barrier is way better than Reinhardt is because of this reason. 900 health. And not only does the barrier has 900 health, but it has 900 health every time that you set it down. Reinhardt's barrier has 2000 health. Okay? Reinhardt's barrier is of course very good, specifically for the amount of health that it has, but there's a problem. If the Reinhardt barrier breaks, you have to wait, you know, a pretty, not a long time obviously, but you have to wait a pretty decent amount of time until it gets to like 1000 health, or if it gets to you know, 2000. With Orisa's barrier, that's not the case. If the barrier gets destroyed, a couple of seconds after that, you can easily just place down a brand new barrier with 900 health. Okay, and the cooldown on the barrier is of course very slow. I mean, very fast. So by the time your barrier breaks, you have another barrier, or you have a couple of seconds until you can place another projected barrier. Oh, and by the way, you know, I'm not hating on Reinhardt or any of the tanks. In fact, Orisa works extremely well with another Reinhardt, and of course with another Winston and another Roadhog. I'm just saying, you know, in this video, guys, as well, that Orisa's a viable tank. She's not garbage. Like, she's really good. I honestly think she's a must pick. Anyways, last but not least, another reason why I think Orisa's barrier is way better than Reinhardt's barrier, it's because of this reason. Okay, so Reinhardt, when he has his barrier up, he's vulnerable to damage and he can't do any damage. Alright, which pretty much means that the team fight, in a way, it's like a 5v6. Okay, because, you know, your Reinhardt has the barrier up. Now, of course, you know, the barrier does block damage and all that stuff. That's very good. But Orisa, right, you pretty much have the damage that you wouldn't have, okay, if, you know, Reinhardt had, you know, had the barrier up. And on top of that, you also have the barrier. In other words, you have a mini Reinhardt in your team, while simultaneously, at the same time, you also have, you know, sort of like another person that can, you know, do damage. In other words, Orisa can do damage, have a barrier at the same time, and also be less vulnerable to damage by activating Fortify, which is again another reason why I think Orisa is way better than Reinhardt. She can do Reinhardt's job and do damage and be less vulnerable to damage. You know, that's three things. I mean, that's two things that Reinhardt can't do when he has a barrier up. Okay. Last but not least, let's talk about the #1 reason why you should pick Orisa. Alright, the Supercharger. Or as I like to call it, the instant teamfight winner. You place this down and you instantly win the teamfight and you break the choke point. Sometimes I have had teams that they are completely trash, completely fucking terrible. Okay, we can't even break the choke point, we're just struggling. You know, we can't win any team fights. Guess what? I place down the Supercharger and I turn the match around from 0 to 100 real quick. Alright, now the only times that the Supercharger or the instant teamfight when it doesn't work out, it's when I place it, you know, badly at a specific part. You know, if I place down the barrier, I mean the Supercharger at a bad part, and I forget to put a barrier on it, if I forget to kill the Junkrat, you know, if I place the Supercharger at a bad position, then we're probably, you know, they're gonna destroy the Supercharger, or, you know, we're probably going to be fucked. Okay, another way that the Supercharger gets countered is if the enemy team activates a Lucio and a Zenyatta ult. But let me tell you guys something, multiple times, you know, a Lucio has activated their ult, and we've still been able to almost wipe the entire enemy team. And or a Zenyatta even activates his ult, and thanks to the 50% damage boost that every person gets, we're still able to completely wipe them. Oh, and another thing that counters, okay, the bongos, or the instant teamfight winner, it's of course the Mercy ultimate, okay? But other than that, the Supercharger, it's literally the best thing that Orisa has going for her. It instantly wins team fights. 50% extra damage to every single hero, and the line of sight thingy, it's really good, really favorable. And on top of all that, okay, the range on the supercharger is extremely suitable. And guys, that is why I think Orisa is the anchor tank that we don't deserve, and why I think honestly she's really one of the best tanks in the game. You just have to know how to play her. You just have to play her in a very specific way. Oh wait, here's an extra point that I forgot. She's literally the best hero for stalling payloads. The ability to set down the projective barrier and activate Fortify every 10 seconds or so and use Hull to push back the enemies when they try to attacking you, it's super amazing. You can stall payloads extremely easier with Orisa, which just goes to show how much of an anchor tank she really is. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys disagree with me so Orisa gets buffed in the future. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out.